James Drummond sent us a question. Here's what he had to say. I battle to memorize the words of my presentation, and when I rehearse in front of my wife, she always says it's great. But how do I know if it's really good? James, if I were you, I'd rather stay clear of partners. You know what they say about business and pleasure? No. Seriously, partners are usually either too critical or too nice. I'm Mariette, and my years as a performance coach has taught me a presenter should be handled with care. I'm here to work with you to enhance your public performance skills. James, speaking in public is a very personal experience, for some emotional and even traumatic. The reason is that our voices are closely connected to our mental health and well-being. When you call your mum, for example, and she says, "Hello, James," you'll know immediately whether she's sad, happy, frustrated, or not feeling well. Our voices give us away. When you are rehearsing your presentation, you're opening yourself up to criticism. You are vulnerable. You need to be reassured rather than criticized. I rehearse in front of a full-length mirror in my bedroom behind closed doors. It's important to see yourself from head to toe for the simple reason that we communicate with our whole bodies. And even for a virtual presentation where you may be sitting down, you'll do well to rehearse in front of a mirror. A video of yourself works even better. View it a few times. Yes, you'll cringe at first, and then you'll smile, and then you might think, it's not that bad. First, take note of the positives. Begin with the good things, and then look out for the negatives. The best way to rehearse, however, is to move in with your presentation. Yes, sleep with it. Think it over when you're commuting, exercising, and especially before you fall asleep or first thing when you wake up. Have a notebook or a phone ready and jot down those gold nuggets of bright ideas that come to mind when you're relaxed. Even if it's only a word or a phrase. Now the big question, James. Do I need to learn my words off by heart? I say, please don't. Never. If you recite your presentation word for word, you're going to concentrate on what comes next, and the meaning of what you are saying will get lost. You know, my first performance coach, Sheila Schlein, would give us a new poem to memorize. And the first week she'd send us home with a poem and say, "Next week, bring me an illustration of the poem." The second week, she'd say, "Come back and tell me the story of the poem in your own words." By week 3, she'll tell us more about the poet and the background to the poem. And in week 4, we'd start to dissect it. The rhyme, the rhythm, alliteration, and only in week 5 were we allowed to read it to her for the first time. And then in week 6, when we started to memorize it, it came easily and naturally, because by that time we internalized it. When we finally recited it, every word made sense to us and we could express the meaning. Now let me tell you something. Your poem is already inside you. Trust your experience, your knowledge. You can speak about your subject. You only need to rehearse where to go to next. And that's why I suggest a cue card with keywords. That is your sat-nav. It tells you what comes next. And finally, James, how do you know if your presentation is good? You will know. And how do you know if you've rehearsed enough? You will know. That's it from me, Mariette. I'm here to help you to progress from a good speaker to a memorable speaker. Until next time, take care.
Post your questions on LinkedIn to Mariette Richardson or email them to mariette@myvoiceuk.com and include a photo. Or ask your question in person in a short video clip. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more tips and say goodbye to performance uncertainty.